Peace, y'all. It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
What up, y'all? It's your boy Quest. Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. Yeah, I'm your host with the most, Quest, alongside my man, my man, L. David Harris. MC.
What up, there?
Oh, man. Yeah. What a lovely.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Class is in session.
Man, let me tell you something, D. It's lovely. You know, I have mixed emotions about when you inside and when you outside. Because when you outside,
Can you imagine?
You know what I'm saying? On days when it feel like today, like it's overcast, it's been raining a little bit. It's supposed to clear up at some time today. But when I look at the screen and I see the background outside, I feel good again. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I don't get to, when you outside, I don't get to hear my music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get to hear, you know what I'm saying? The bell ringing for classes in session.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to find a way where we can combine.
Whenever I got two people working on getting me a new rig. I don't know if they're going to be able to come through, but if anyhow somebody can donate me a new rig, then I can take this one outside. Yeah. Or at least at least the stuff. I mean, I probably won't take all of this, but at least I'll take the computer part of it.
No doubt. And then we can get busy.
Yeah, man. I would rather be out there than in here right this moment.
Indeed, man.
Yeah.
Man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Thankful for another day of life, health and strength, man. This week has been a lovely week thus far. It's been busy, but lovely nonetheless. Shucks. Everything, the topic. Saturday was a really a good day. In terms of a number of different things. The topic came to me, you know what I'm saying, of conversation for today or for today's podcast came from while I was in the shower on Sabbath, man. God just hit your boy in the head. But more importantly, your boy Nico, man, I'm telling you, you and I were talking about it earlier on. My man hijacked my phone. Yo, it's amazing to me how these kids live in the age of technology.
Yeah.
When we were his age, I don't think we would know half of how to even operate a device like that. We live in the age of the swipe and the tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? We live in this age. This is the age we live in. And that's the age we live in. And it's hilarious to me because even at 2 years old, Mason knows how to open his tablet, and he can't even say tablet properly, but he knows exactly what to do when the tablet is open. My tablet. That's what he says. My tablet.
What is that?
What is that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nico hijacked my phone Saturday, man, and he opened up the camera and said, "What's up, guys? Welcome to another day of Going to Church." I guess that's the name of his podcast. And on my podcast today, we're going to be talking about marriage. Marriage.
Yeah.
Marriage. Right?
Yeah.
And marriage is love, support, and shrink. Shrink.
What is shrink?
Yeah. And he said, in order to lift bones and lift weights, you need shrink.
That's supposed to be strength?
Exactly. That's what he was trying to say. But he called it strength. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, he would get more ratings than us, man. Just like that. Even if he didn't if he didn't learn how to say strength.
All right. So I got my phone right here. I'm just telling you. Yeah. When I looked at the let me see if I could find it. Oh, here it is.
It ain't even fair, man.
His views, and I just did this on Saturday, are already up at over 1,000.
Yeah, that's not even right. That's unfair.
And he's got 4 shares already.
Yo, Quest. Yo, it's time, you know.
Yeah,
the dude,
they're
don't
doing
know one thing he doing, and he beating us.
and beating us. And he's got stuff on there that says hashtag Team Nico.
Oh,
Like they create hashtags for this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Shouts out to Mirel Henriquez down in Florida, man. She put my man up, and she's like one of Nico's biggest fans. She said, "Yep, my hashtag Team Nico."
Yo, but Quest, I see this well produced. I know it was after his, but still. This well-produced joint you did with all of you did all of that. It's got 440 views, bro.
I'm 440, B. And you see where his is at, 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, he's coming for me, and he's coming for me quick.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? But it's funny to watch him grow, man. On the serious side, it causes me, D, to be extremely intentional and deliberate. A lot of the times we think we're doing what we're doing for us, but we're doing it really for them. Yeah. Them dudes are soaking up everything. And if I was cussing and carrying on in this house, he probably would have been cussing and carrying on.
Did you see the little girl that did that? She took something and the grandmother was like, blah, 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 blah. And she said, something. I can't even paraphrase it because it was so nasty. And she was smaller than Nico.
I'm just saying. So what you want, you got to create the environment for that. And like for real, we ain't perfect. In no way, shape, or form are we perfect. We go through challenges just like everybody else. But the truth be told, we trying to create an environment. An environment that we create and you can see is being reflected in what he's doing now. If the sins of the father gonna fall down to the sons of third and fourth generation, I'd be a fool to think that if we do the reverse of that, that maybe that'll fall down onto the third and fourth generation.
Text says it will, so there you go. We get that good stuff too, man.
So man. I from what I understand, Josiah doing the same thing over there as well.
Exact same thing. And he reminded me the other day. He said, "You said you was gonna give me a program. So when we gonna do it?" But I got the thing now. The same way that Simone and I are outside recording, I have this isotope, this new device is crazy. Yeah. This new recording device. So that means, because I'm not bringing them in here. Yeah. But I got what I need to, the Spire. Yeah, isotope Spire. Crazy. So, I guess I got to do it because I said it, didn't I?
Let's get it. Let's get it. So for most people who wondering, like, yo, what is he talking about? If you want to see it and get you a good laugh today, stop by my Facebook page and check Nico out. Like for real, he is. I'm lightweight. I'm shook bird, right? Real quick.
It ain't even right.
I don't know what we need to do to step the game up, but we need to go ahead and step this game up.
You have to go backwards and come back 2 generations late. That's how you have to do. Because these guys, we not ready, bro.
Blowing us out.
We not ready.
Yep, we not ready. So man. We need to go ahead and get them their show, man, and just let it do what it do. You know what I'm saying, D?
Son, you remember how we got the name of this program? Like we did the first joint, we turned on the camera and we just talked. And then after we were done, we were like, yo, this is what it is. I think we just did it again, class.
Again.
I think we just did it again.
Yep.
Except better.
Yep. Better.
I guess we got to talk about this.
Well, shoot, man. Let's go ahead and pay some bills, D, man. As always, man, shouts out to everybody joining us again, man. I can see everybody in the chat room, man. Like for real, I thank y'all so much for supporting us, man, for over a year. D, I'm surprised at some of the stuff. As you say what you're saying, man, I'm just like for real blown at what God has been able to allow us to do over the last year. All of the love mail that had, we get a lot of hate, man. Nah, we don't. But all the love mail that comes in, man, that just for real encourages us,
on the real,
implores us, challenges us to go ahead and keep going, man. Thank y'all so much. We wouldn't have a Marriage Ain't for Suckers program if it wasn't for y'all. So we love y'all so much for that. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and pay some of these bills. Oh, and for real, we're always looking for ways to get our numbers up in terms of our reviews. So if you're a iPhone user, iMac user, iPad user, go by the podcast app, search Marriage Ain't for Suckers and do me a favor, leave us a review. As a matter of fact, D, we got a review the other day and I just want to shout, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, the people that supporting us, I just like to make sure that we showing love to the people who listen to the podcast week after week. And hold on one second, I'm pulling it up right now, D.
Yeah.
And, the review that we got this week. Here we go.
I see the title, but I can't see what it said. I don't see.
I see it. Yep. It's from G. Coleman 78, and he says, "You inspire me to be higher."
Higher. Okay.
No, he says, "You inspire me to be the higher." Right. And G. Coleman 78 says, "You guys always challenge me to be the husband and father I know God has destined me to be.
Word.
Thanks for sharing your lives with us." Oh, man.
Exclamation point. I see
Exclamation point. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to G. Coleman 78, man. Thank you so much for the love.
Word.
Like, for real, I just want to encourage you guys, man, for real. If you too want to become the listener of the week, for real, just stop by the podcast app on any Apple device. Leave us a review, man. We'd love to hear from you. And for real, it encourages us to continue to go on to give you guys the information and share our lives with you, because that's really what we're doing, sharing our lives with you as it relates to this marriage, the ups, the downs, and everything else in between.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But how to win, more importantly, how to win.
Oh yeah.
And that's, yeah.
Most definitely.
Yep. So let's pay some of these bills, D. Shouts out to Breathe University. As always, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you will become successful. As you guys already know, Breathe University is the brand new e-learning platform led by Dr. Eric Thomas. And inside BU, you get access to Eric E.T., along with all of his proven tools, strategies, and resources you need to jumpstart your greatness in one convenient location. Like, for real. And that's not just an online community. Let me just stress the fact that this is an online family. People who are, like, for real, wanting to see you exceed, people who want to see you succeed, people who want to see you go to the next level. And inside BU, you'll get exclusive access to on-demand video courses, mastermind calls. The calls are weekly. People like CJ, Josh Hatch, Carl Phillips, Carl Phillips. And of course, myself, I lead the marriage division of the company. And I have the calls every Sunday night, man, and we're just always looking to win. So outside of the mastermind calls, you get exclusive community access, live events. He just did one in Arizona this past week on the 1%. Phenomenal. Countless resources, books and interviews, and a whole bunch of other different stuff, man. And there are a number of coaches, D, we just started getting certified in this DISC assessment. And so we're using it to show people who they are, how they're wired, and how they can lean more to their strengths and become greater in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, man, if you want more information, do me a favor, stop by breatheuniversity.com, and you too can become a part of the family of learners and learning. Yep, stop by breatheuniversity.com.
I like it, man. All right. Well, today's program is brought to you by Audible. Get your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/marriage, with more than 180,000 titles from which to choose for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And last week, you actually did recommend some stuff. So big up to you. Thank you. I want you to do it again. Share it with your fellow listeners and viewers. audibletrial.com/marriage. Let us know what you're listening to with that free trial. All right?
Absolutely.
Word up.
Absolutely. D, let's just jump into it. If I know we didn't really get a title, but if I had to title it myself, and I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, when you put it out there, you're going to attach the magic to it. But not shutting down or checking out when there's a shutdown. And I say that, let me just go back. I told you that I got the topic this week when I was in the shower getting ready for church on Saturday. And what God deposited into my spirit, D, is that y'all know this past month has been a rough month for a number of government workers. You know what I'm saying, D? Like, we've been through some challenging parts in different stages of our lives where, you know what I'm saying, your money is funny. You know what I'm saying? Your change is strange.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep. When your nickels stop trickling, you know what I'm saying? Like for real. And your quarters are out of order. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. We've all been in that place at one time or another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing. But to be working, right? To be actually working and not get paid for it is a totally different dynamic altogether.
And be required.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've had some thoughts about like this whole thing. Like, man, like how does the government just shut down for, what was it, 35 days, 37 days, something like that. Some people get paid weekly, some bi-weekly, but in any case, whether you get paid weekly or bi-weekly, some people are just honestly living from paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? And it's a difficult way to live. You do what you have to do. You keep, you know what I'm saying, your head above water and you strive to go to the next level. But just to work and not get paid, Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying? And so I watch people like, shouts out to my boy Tim Morris, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who is a federal agent. And of course, when you're a federal agent, they give you stuff like leap pay and bonuses and all kinds of stuff that, you know, cushion should something like this happen. But his regular pay, right, didn't happen for the same thing as everybody else because he's a government worker. I'm looking at all the TSA agents who didn't get paid, D, who showed up to the airport, right? Here's the I don't know if we want to call it caveat, but when Tim first took his job, D, as a federal agent, there's a oath that you take.
Yep.
Right? You take an oath, right, to become a federal agent, such that in cases just like this, it is emergency, I don't know, martial law, whatever the case may be, or a government shutdown, that if they have to, you know, you're not getting paid, you still got to show up anyway, because if you don't show up,
right,
mayhem.
Problem.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're looking at the Super Bowl coming up right now in Atlanta, you know, with all the sex trafficking and all of this stuff going on. And what a time for the government to shut down, because like for real, it causes, you know, what happens when the police officers don't show up because they're not getting paid? Like, you know, and I'm sure those who are looking to do foolishness, like are looking at the gaps in security, the gaps in all those different stuff that's taking place. The TSA agents, if they don't show up to the airports, just imagine what that's like. And as I thought about that, right, well, God deposited that into my spirit because I was thinking about some other stuff as it relates to marriage, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'll go back to the future now. What's happening in terms of the government shutdown, God taught me a lesson. Like we have a tendency to look at it as a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? And it is a bad thing for people to work and not get paid. But I'm looking at the positives out of this thing and looking at it in a way that I wouldn't normally look at it, D. I guess, you know, God has extended my critical thinking, if you will, that it's very similar to marriage. On your wedding day, you took an oath. You took a vow to love, honor, respect, forsaking all others until death do you part, for better or for worse, richer or poorer, once again, in sickness or in health. You took that oath, right? And you took it with a commitment. And D, correct me if I'm wrong, but commitment can be defined as doing what you say you're going to do long after the feeling you said it in is gone.
Yeah, and even in the context of the shutdown, so he reopened the government, right? Mm-hmm. But it's potentially a temporary measure, right? Okay. So what if you're going through some things in your marriage where you're not trying to be negative or anything, but okay, so things seem to be looking up, but you know that there's that other issue hiding, waiting for you around the corner.
And here's the thing.
So how are you going to behave in that interim period?
Well, let me say this first before we get to that. Oh, D, this is why I love you, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, before I address that just because we get married and what we think we should be getting, we're not getting, does not give you the right to check out or not show up. If you have committed or created a vow to be a husband, you need to be a husband, good, bad, or indifferent.
But it's unfair.
Hold on. God didn't. Okay. We didn't take an oath for the relationship to be fair or unfair. We took an oath to love unconditionally, for better or for worse, forsaking all others, including yourself, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, until death do us part. Right?
Noted.
Right. So you said some stuff earlier on, right? What was it that we just said? And you just said it just a while ago, because my mind is going.
Yeah, I mean, if the president reopened the government, but all indicators say that he will possibly shut it down again in a couple weeks. How do you behave in the interim when you're not being negative in your marriage, but you're thinking, boy, there's probably something waiting for me around the corner that's just as undesirable.
I love it. Whenever, D, we are operating in our marriage and we hit calamity, we don't like calamity. Let's just keep it 100. And so in order for us to restore some level of normalcy to the marriage, we will make the adjustments necessary to restore the normalcy, if you will. But what you will find over a period of time, we will revert back to the same things that got us into this predicament in the first place. And the reason why we will revert to those things is because we haven't yet changed our philosophy as it relates to the thing that got us here in the first place. The reason that we know that this thing has a potential to go and shut the government down again is because the president has not yet changed his philosophy towards the wall. And there's so like for real, we can get into like, okay, the wall is not really an issue. The amount of tunnels that run from Mexico to the U.S. side, the amount of ports and containers that come in on ships. There's 1,000,001 ways you can get into this country. You put up a wall for miles and miles and miles, like you're not stopping nothing. Let's just be honest. I'm not sure if it was a part of his campaign and he feels like he has to fulfill that thing on I don't know.
I'm definitely not speaking on none of that.
But here's the thing. I'm just saying all of that to say that as it relates to marriage, what are we trying to really accomplish as a husband and wife? And if we're trying to accomplish it as a husband and wife, right, together, what are our goals, right? My way is not always going to be the best way to go.
Pause.
And I have to,
And does shutting down fix the problem?
Absolutely not.
I almost switched the lights off in here.
Absolutely not. Just because I don't feel like I'm getting what I think I should get. It's funny because Faith and I are a part of a marriage group, D. Shouts out to Will and Tamika Green, who, like for real, we're going to probably end up doing some conferences together here in the next couple of months. But we're a part of a marriage group. Last year, we read the book Cherish. And we read a chapter per month, and then we get together as a group once per month and we discuss it. And now we're doing Love and Respect, right? And Faith and I were having the discussion on this thing called Love and Respect. Like, for real, you just said it a while ago. Does shutting down help anything? Like, what is that going to do?
Strain the relationship?
Absolutely.
Make it worse?
Absolutely. If I love you the way that I say that I love you, well, what are you thinking? Here's what I'm thinking. How do we put both of these together? Now, it's not always going to be right my way. It's not always going to be right your way. How can we work together against the problem and not each other? And I'm saying that a lot of the times, D, we don't take into consideration of our spouse. And here's what we concluded on. I can't be worried about what I'm not getting from you. I'm going to, if there's any conflict in you or anything that's wrong within you, excuse my French, but I'm going to love the hell out of you. And in doing so, and being solely concerned about your well-being, I'm going to leave my well-being to you. You worry about that. The minute that I take my eye off of what it is, off of you and start concentrating on what I'm getting or not getting, that's when we run into problems, right? If I give you the love that you need, hopefully, prayerfully, you will give me back what it is that I need if we're doing this right.
Mm-hmm.
But what I definitely don't want to do is to shut down and say, okay, because I'm not getting what I. Once again, remember what we said in the beginning. We know that marriage is divine, D.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And speak on this. Once I start operating in the spirit, right? What I'm doing is I'm opening the doors, the windows, the vestibules, the trunk, the window, whatever it is. I'm opening for the spirit to come through, work on my behalf as it relates to you. Now you can fight if you want to, but I ain't see the man or woman arms long enough yet to box with.
I saw that play. That's right. Yeah. So that's the reality. Like, we can try to do it ourselves and, experience a certain level of success. Really, it's still not ourselves because God gives us strength. But when we do it on our own, like without consulting him, then we get only what our human extremes can get us. And that always brings us back to problems. Period. Yep. It doesn't have to always be catastrophic, but ultimately it is, because marriage is supposed to take us to a certain level of experience with people and with him, with God, with the Creator, right? And so we can't do that without not including him, without consulting him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing, D, that experience is not always a pleasant one.
No, because
it's not always a pleasant one, but it's always a productive one.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I mean, we can do it. We can go it alone and get what we get, or we can consult God, not include him, but consult him and say, all right, I need to get to your ideal. And you're the only one that knows how to do that.
Absolutely.
And besides, you're the only one in my case that knows her, meaning my Simone.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, I'm not too sure I know myself. And I'm a solid dude, man. Like, I'm not confused about too much about myself. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm not confused. Like, I'm not in the air. I'm not wondering. Like, I'm pretty pragmatic and well thought out and whatever, plan everything, right? And I don't even know myself. Much less her. So the one who knows everything knows her, and he knows me, and he knows the stuff I think I know that I actually don't.
And he knows the person that you're going to come into too. You
right?
know what I'm saying? Like,
so why not just ask him? Like, I had a guy. There's a man at church. He's pushing 80. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
He said for 70 years he's been trying to figure out some dream. It was a dream, a literal dream. And I listened to it, and frankly, I was a little bit impatient, thinking I didn't behave it that way. And I'm listening to this whole thing, and he's like, all right, so now I need you to tell me what it is. And he said he's gone to elders all the time for years. I said, did you ask God? Look, and the dude,
I need you to chill out and punching folk in the mouth, man.
And the dude said, son, I listened to him for 12 straight minutes. And when he was done, he sat back and he looked around and he was like,
no,
Elder, you're the only one that's ever, all these years I've been trying to figure this out, and nobody asked me if I asked God. All right, may I ask him. Ask him. Like, you asking me what it might be. I don't know.
What's even more of a trip is we consider ourselves to be believers sometime, D, and that should be our first resort, and oftentimes isn't.
Right. So if that's the case, and it is, then when it come on to marriage, which is God's construct, not his idea, he didn't say, all right, I have an idea. Why don't y'all go work it out? He gave it all to us.
I need you to slow down. Don't speed through that. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, people say marriage is God's idea, and it sounds cool when you put it in a sermon, but it's not true. It's not an idea. It's what God created. And then he gave it to us. That's right. And he gave it to us. Yep. So since he's the creator of it, and me and her, then I need to be talking to him about the whole thing. Like,
straight up.
You gave it to us, so I'm going to need you to help me out, because I'm going to make a mess of this.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing, D. I know some people who listening to the podcast and listening to what we're saying right now, and it often comes up in conversation. Yeah, that's all well and good what y'all talking about, but it's difficult.
Yeah, well, is life.
Hence the name of the program.
Yeah.
Marriage ain't for suckers. You know what I'm saying? It's not for...
No kidding.
Yeah,
that wasn't a genius statement. That's not a genius statement. No disrespect. I'm just saying.
No
kidding. No kidding. It ain't easy. It's difficult.
Yeah,
Duh.
but that's what I'm saying. And I want to address that because that's always the topic. It almost like a borderline excuse to some extent. Not an excuse, but
yeah, it is.
It's difficult. It's always going to be difficult when the difficult and challenging times come. You feel me? But what I also know is that marriage was never meant to be easy. It was never meant to be whole. Happy. Marriage was always meant to be that thing, that construct, if you will, that is difficult at times, is challenging at times, and it makes you whole through that process. And I realized that you can have happiness, but happiness will be the byproduct of, like, for real, D, when me and you at the top of our game, when we go into the gym, like even you, I see the differences now when you go into the gym, the body changing. And I always reference that. The end result, what you get in terms of results as you go through this challenge makes you, like, for real. I've grown in ways over the last 7 years that I would not have grown if I was a single man.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you can't grow as a single man. I'm just telling you
it's a different kind of growth.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Word up. Yeah, so I think if we push any further, we're gonna get started all over again.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, so don't shut down when there's a shutdown. That's all I can say. I agree.
I'm just saying.
And we're gonna have to check y'all on the next round. Lord spares life. We'll catch y'all next week. And thanks for running with us again.
Yeah,
and,
stay focused, y'all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Stay focused. You would think that I need to remember to talk over this part. So I'll just say it. Stay focused, yeah. Stay focused. All right, y'all.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.